Hello, everybody. My name is James Phoenix, and welcome to what is effectively a special little offshoot of. Well, I guess what was it, Around the Pound we started this on?
It was.
Yes.
It was.
We
Hello.
lose Jim.
Hello. No, sorry, technical difficulties, audience. Sorry.
We said yes, it was. It was around the pound we started this on for
Fair enough.
DCember.
Yes, this is a little offshoot of our Around the Pound from a couple of weeks ago.
For
We were thinking
DCember.
for DCember, and we figured we were going to go to the second half on this to finish up because
DCember.
right.
I'm not going to do that whole podcast. That joke will get old.
Yeah. And because we did start this whole thing, we were also the reason we did this as part of our Oh, he didn't say it that time. Now he's trolling me. Anyway,
I said I wasn't going to do it again, Boone, didn't I?
but anyway, so considering this is part of DCember.
DCember.
There it goes. Okay. So we did this as part of DCember as sort of a testing ground, and this will be the second half of that test. As a test for a new idea for a new show that you'll be seeing here on the X-Pound because it seems to be rather successful. And I will be hosting this new show. And effectively what this new show will feature is once a month or so, give or take, we will get together and we will read off some lists of best or worst of some topic that we have chosen. Obviously, in this case, this is our worst of DC Comics television, film, and video games. Following up from our best from a couple weeks ago, you can go see that in our archive. And we're going to go through this as the testing ground for the new show. What did we name the new show? I'm sorry, it went right out of my head.
It's the final countdown.
That's right, thank you. Alright, thank you.
Jim, you need to sing that song as the theme song for the show.
There you go.
I thought he was going to sing with Vernon Shirley.
Oh, that's true. Well, okay.
Yeah.
How about both?
There you go.
He can sing the Laverne and Shirley song walking down the street like they did. Then you can emerge from a trash can like Oscar the Grouch going, it's the final countdown.
That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
You heard it here a lot of the X-Men, folks. Marcus Shadow lives in a trash can.
He doesn't live in a trash can, just like Oscar the Grouch doesn't. The trash can is a magical portal to Grouchland. Did you not see the film, Jim?
I did not see that film.
It was awesome.
Fair enough.
The benefits of having a little nose.
Except I would dispute that because downstairs on my Christmas tree right now is a Sesame Street ornament with Oscar the Grouch and his feet are clearly sticking out the bottom of the can.
That's just a decoy.
Fair enough. I could be wrong about that. I didn't look at the ornament closely, but anyway, I've had that for years. I never look at it closely anymore. Anyway, back onto the topic, and that is, of course, our worst DC Comics awards. So we're going to start off going in the same way we did with the best of awards from a couple weeks ago, and that's going to start off with the worst DC Comics-related movies awards. And to post that segment, we're going to go over to the movie guy, Mark Shadow.
All right. So, my top 3 worst DC movie adaptations. Number 3 is Superman Returns. Because, let's face facts, the only thing good about that movie was the fact that Brendan Routh actually kind of looked like Christopher Reeves. Aside from that, that movie was kind of shit. That and Kevin Spacey, because Kevin Spacey, he's always fucking awesome. Now, if they'd actually let him be actual Luthor instead of Gene Hackman Luthor, which nothing against Gene Hackman, may he rest in peace. You know, Gene Hackman's Luthor was awesome, but I mean, think about it. If you tell Kevin Spacey without any preconceptions to say just be Lex Luthor, can you imagine how fucking awesome that would be? But no, no, they told him to be Gene Hackman, which he did a good job with, but the movie wasn't that good.
Also, can I just make one point to you? Gene Hackman's not dead.
Really, I thought he was.
No, it's just his career that is.
Yeah, pretty
Fair
much.
enough. His career, rest in peace.
He's 84, but he's alive.
Okay, fair enough. I thought he had passed away. My apologies.
No, actually, he's retired from acting. Actually, according to this.
Wow.
So there we go. That's why it's taken a while.
It's Mark. It was Marcus's bad. He just read the top of his list of what's to come.
Wow.
He's still alive, and there's Marcus. Challenge accepted.
Wow.
Yes.
No.
It's gonna be really horrible if that happens in the next few days.
Breaking news tonight: veteran actor Gene Hackman was found murdered in a trash can.
Wow.
Anyway.
No. But yes,
Anyway.
my number 2 worst movie, DC movie, The Dark Knight Rises. God, that movie was a hot mess. That movie was fucking terrible.
It wasn't that bad.
Well, for our thoughts on it, you can go watch the Showtime review of Dark Knight Rises. No, on the Xbound.
Yep.
And my number 1 worst DC movie of all time, Batman and Robin. Let's just get that out of the way. No. So those are my 3. Back to Jim. Jim?
Yes. Oh, I thought you were going to go to Wall next. Sorry.
I said back to Jim.
Okay. Well, no, you're hosting the movie part, so you introduce the next person.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's kind of how we're running it.
Maybe
My
he,
bad.
maybe he was. Maybe you were the next person.
Well, clearly not from his reaction.
No, Jim's right. It makes more sense to do that because then it ends on Jim and he goes into TV. So go ahead, Mole. Take it away.
Okay.
How we worked it the last time.
Number 3 for mine. Bear in mind, I've gone with the ones that have disappointed me the most, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Or ones that affected me personally instead of ones I think are just necessarily the worst. Because I think the ones that are necessarily the worst, everyone's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
But number 3, Catwoman.
Yeah, that movie's bad too.
Yeah.
The reason that's on my list is just because it came out after Batman Begins. So you see Batman Begins and you're like, it's a Catwoman film. Oh my god. And instantly, because of how the characters are connected through the shared universe and stuff like that, and even more so because they're both in Gotham and stuff, you expect it to be in that universe. You expect it to be like Batman Begins for Catwoman. And you're like, cool. And you go to watch it. And it's just the fucking Crow renamed.
Yeah.
And it's not even the best version of the Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Which it was so bad, even like as a Crow type film. If you want to rate them in terms of Crow films, that it's worse than the one with the original Yellow Power Ranger in. That is number 2. It's worse than the one with Angel in it, which was like 3 or 4. But yeah, that just disappoints me. Number 2, Batman Forever.
Fair enough.
The Riddler was so ridiculously over the top. They whitewashed Harvey Dent from the previous films, and all of that film is just so bad. It was like, no. And the number 1 on my list, Superman Returns. That's number 1 on my list because I was tempted at one point to put Batman and Robin there, but I was like, Batman and Robin didn't actually disappoint me because I hated Batman Forever so much. I went and saw Batman and Robin expecting it to be a shit. And I was not disappointed. So Superman Returns, it's like, it's meant to be better than 3 and 4. It's going to be just like Superman 1 and 2. It's in that continuity. It's got that legend to it because of how old those films are. And you watch it and he's a deadbeat dad. Lex Luthor was just fucking terrible in that film for overacting in the worst possible way. And if you're like, I don't think that's quite right. I'm just going to have to say the word wrong. Yeah, I rest my case. But yeah, it even ignores its own rules of logic. Superman, he's weak to kryptonite. That's established. He's on a mountain filled with kryptonite. Some of it even sticks in his chest, and he has it there the whole time as he lifts up a mountain of kryptonite to the sky. And then when he goes into hospital, he pulls him out. It's like, no, he shouldn't have been able to function at this point. Don't ignore your own rules and logic of what you've established as possible just to have a cool scene where he lifts a mountain. No. So those were my three. Over to our lovely host.
Thank you. And yeah, those were pretty bad. Interestingly, I only have one on my list in common with either of your lists.
Fair enough.
Now, I will say the number 3 on my list, it just barely made it on here, and I really didn't want to put it on here, but I felt that this one is not overall just bad. It's for number 3 is for me personally. The other 2 are just because they're bad, but number 3 is for me personally. And I know, and we talked about this a few weeks ago when we were discussing some of these in another DCember video, but I actually put down Justice League Flashpoint, and the reason I did that is because I had read the graphic novel just prior, and while the movie was awesome. It was very well made, the acting was great, the animation was great, it disappointed me because it felt like they cut a lot of stuff from the graphic novel out, and I felt that it hurt the overall story. I felt that given the movie was going to crush down to fit into that time frame, I feel like had they given it an extra 30 minutes, it would have, really filled the movie out a little bit. You would have felt more like you were understanding this world that the Flash ended up in. Whereas in the animated world, it felt like you were thrust into this world of, here's this alternate world, and here's a handful of characters, a couple of characters from it here, and I was like, okay, here's the other Batman, Cyborg, Superman, whatever, but it didn't feel like you were really immersed in that world. It felt like you were rushed in just for there to be action and then rushed back out. Whereas when I read the graphic novel, I felt like I was seeing this world for the first time with Barry Allen. I was experiencing it. I was immersed in this world, like it was around me, like what is this mysterious world I'm now in? I felt like I was a part of that. And that might just be a change in medium, I don't know. But it just felt to me like, well, the film in and of itself as a film is really good. Compared to its source material, I felt like it was like Flashpoint light almost.
Which is fair enough. Disappointment to you, that
was just my opinion. I really liked the movie, but I liked the movie. It just felt like it was so rushed through, and like there was so much good stuff that got left out. And part of that might be because I read the extension graphic novels too, so that might just be me because I was too immersed in the world because I read all the extraneous shit. But maybe that's just me. Number 2, Batman and Robin. I think we've said enough about that already. Well, I'll admit I like goofy camp shit, and I did not have any kind of real, emotional. Well, I liked the animated series as a kid and whatnot. I didn't really have any emotional attachment to Batman to care that, to realize at the time that was as bad as it was, except for the bat nipples. That was weird. But other than that, I'm like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, that's funny. I took it for, this is a hilarious comedy movie, even though I knew it wasn't supposed to be. I took it for, it's an over-the-top comedy Batman film. Only in retrospect did I realize how bad of a thing that was.
Yeah, but to be fair, how old were you at the time?
I'm not sure what year did that movie come out.
1998.
So let's see, 1998. That would have put me.
I was kidding. No. I don't know the date. I was just guessing.
I'm gonna laugh if that was right.
If that's like 97, 98, I'm gonna laugh. But
yeah, I love camp stuff too. I mean, this is coming from the guy who absolutely loves the Adam West Batman TV show, and yeah, Batman and Robin is bad. It's beyond camp. It's bad.
Batman and Robin release date June 20th, 1997.
You were close.
But if that's the case, then I was 10. So yeah.
Yeah, which I will say, to be fair with Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, because Batman Forever was on my list. Even though I even as a kid I hated Batman Forever, I really hated that film. But Batman and Robin, I actually kind of sort of liked as a kid when I was younger, at least, because it did what it should have, or what they wanted it to, by adding like, oh look, now he's skateboarding through the sky like the Power Ranger movie and stuff. It did make you want the toys, to be fair. It made you want the toys. It was like a kid's film.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and see, I felt the same way about Batman Forever, primarily because again, I was even younger when that movie came out, and at that age, as I'm younger, I had actually at that point seen The Mask.
Yeah. And I will take over for Jim. Basically, I think the reason I hated Batman and Robin so much compared to the other Batman films is because
You were in
during
like your
that.
40s.
What's that?
You were in like your 40s.
Fuck you. But no, during that time, that's when I was heavily into reading the Batman comics and stuff, and that was right in the heart of the Nightfall story arc. So Bane was fresh in my mind. I was like, Bane is fucking awesome. He's awesome in this comic. And then Batman and Robin now with Bane, and I'm like, yes, they're putting Bane in a movie. That's gonna be awesome. And I go and I'm like, what is that? That's not Bane.
To be fair with that,
it's not. I'm Bane. Yes,
Yeah.
not.
to be fair with that, the Batman in The Dark Knight Rises is more Bane in terms of how he acts and fights and stuff. But I was going to say, to be fair to that, if you read any of the Batman comics, would you have did you really like any of those films? Because Jack Nicholson in makeup, Gothic Catwoman, Penguin was different to the comics. Riddler was ridiculous. Harvey Dent was ridiculous. They all were stupid and not how they were in the comics.
And that's why I didn't like Batman Returns that much, because I hated what they did with the Penguin.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but like I said, none of them were the same.
No.
Not really.
But I mean, at least some of them were tolerable. It's not like what they did to Bane, where they took Bane and made him something he absolutely wasn't. I'm like, just made him a dumb drone. That is.
To be fair, they made him exactly what he was, and that was a plot device character.
Pretty much.
Because I like Bane. How Bane beat Batman was awesome, but
yes,
yeah, he's pretty much a plot device character because that's all he's lived off from now on is the fact he broke the bat, which was just a storyline to show Batman could be injured and launch. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could
anyway,
be worse. It could have been worse. It could have been the storyline where they showed Batman was able to die, sort of.
True. But anyway, you're number one, Jim.
Anyway, I was saying before I cut off was the fact that just before, Batman Forever, I was even younger than, 10 at the time when that came out, and I had seen The Mask at that point, so I really loved the movie The Mask, and so at that point, I was up for anything Jim Carrey was doing, and he was kind of bouncing around and acting like The Mask, so as a kid, I'm like, yes, it's more Jim Carrey acting like The Mask, so I accepted at that time. So in retrospect, I'm like, that's not the Riddler, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had fun with that movie, though, because like you said, Jim Carrey, yeah, okay, he was a little over the top, but I thought it kind of worked. It's Jim Carrey. And at that time, I was starting to get like super into Tommy Lee Jones because he's a fucking awesome actor. And that's when I started watching, not intentionally, mind you, but I just happened, because I'm the movie guy, I was watching movies, and I happened to just watch several movies that he was in I thought was awesome. And then when he was announced as Two-Face, of course, the initial gut reaction was, wait, so they're going from Lando to Tommy Lee Jones. Seriously? That's not going to go well. But I was like, it's Tommy Lee Jones. It could be good. And Dent is supposed to be white anyway, so fuck it. I'll give it a chance. And yeah, he was over the top, but of course he was meant to be over the top, and I thought he did an okay job, and I had fun with that movie. Yeah. Batman and Robin, I just did not have fun with.
I was like Two-Face. They took out all the heart of him actually becoming Two-Face. We lost all the intelligence, which ironically the animated series did, with the dual personalities between the two Harveys and stuff. Riddler was fucking ridiculous. I loved Ace Ventura, I loved The Mask and stuff, and I look at that and I'm like, the Riddler, no, he gives Batman riddles. It's fun to try and solve the riddles and figure out what he's doing, and he's in the shadows and stuff. I didn't realize as much that it was. What I was looking for was more of the psychology of the Riddler and stuff. But
yeah,
it has a big. Well, obviously, like I'm the comic guy, but it's still like I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like what you've done with Riddler. No, and the outfits.
I think the one thing that put Forever above Batman and Robin for me, aside from the fact that I could stomach Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, is the fact that Batman Forever gave us the best Bruce Wayne of that movie series. Whereas with Batman and Robin, it's like, when I heard Clooney was cast, I was like, that's going to be fucking awesome, because he was my choice to play Batman almost from the get-go, because he looked like Bruce Wayne. Then when I saw him actually act as Batman and Bruce Wayne, I was like, yeah, you don't get the character at all, do you?
See, I actually
What?
preferred,
He
I
got. He
actually
got.
preferred,
He,
I actually preferred the Batman in Returns.
Yeah, he was really good.
I liked the one in
The
Returns.
original one, yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him how he was in Returns. I didn't like any part much. I didn't like any part of the original Batman film, but I did like Returns a bit, and I didn't like him as. I didn't like. I liked him as Batman. Did not like the replacement Batman, and I'm like, the only part that puts Batman and Robin above Forever for me is the fact. Okay. You've got a bit of eye candy in there, which is never a good thing if that's the only reason you're going to give it a plus. And it's got more both of them are laughably stupid, but that one actually knows it and it has more comedy, like Mr. Freeze dancing and singing in a robe. So I'm like, okay, that one's at least aware that it's bad. The other one's not aware of this, and that makes it worse.
yeah.
True. But that's fair enough.
Yeah, and also I will say in reference to what you said, I know it's not good if it's the only thing, but to Batman and Robin's credit, Alicia Silverstone in leather.
Yep. And I will just say, while we're mentioning Batman Returns, when you see the big gothic cat head that Catwoman's always using and responding to and stuff in that film, even as a kid I thought this. Did anyone else think Felix the Cat? Seriously, I loved Felix the Cat, his magical bag.
Yeah.
More than that when Marcus Shadow reviews the movie.
Maybe. I heard that movie was supposed to be pretty good, but
it was awesome. If you liked Felix the Cat and you were a kid. I dare not watch it now in case I hate it as an adult.
But yeah, Jim, I had forgotten about that. That was another reason why I really disliked Batman and Robin, because when I heard Batgirl, yes, Alicia Silverstone, I was like, the fuck?
She wasn't that bad.
I'll be honest with you, I never heard of her before that movie.
Yeah, to be fair, she wasn't that bad though.
But I didn't like what they did with the character. I was like, no, you've ruined Batgirl. She looks okay. Yeah, Alicia Silverstone in leather, hot. Yeah, I agree with that. But I was just like, no, you ruined both Bane and Batgirl. Fuck you.
And she acted okay. The only thing they changed was the backstory with Gordon, which makes sense because Gordon wasn't actually a main character in that fan series, which means they would have to shoehorn him in.
Which is true, but they could have made the character of Batgirl more like the character. I was okay with the backstory. In fact, I thought that was kind of clever.
I thought she was like the character because she sort of almost figured out who Batman was on her own, so it showed the intelligence, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. With help from Alfred.
But then she turns around in the middle of combat in front of Poison Ivy and Bane and turns around and says, Bruce, it's me. I'm like, really? You're going to just say that out loud? No!
To be fair, she probably watched the other 3 Batman films back and knows Joker killed, Catwoman killed, Penguin killed, Riddler in a mental institution, and Batman totally killed Harvey Dent, but let's ignore all those killings. She probably thought, there's no way the villains are getting out. She's like, he's going to murder these.
In all fairness, I'm relatively sure that he did not kill Catwoman. She got away.
She survived at the end, post-credits, but it was she said something about like 8 lives left or something, so I think he killed her.
Fair enough.
I think she said something along the lines of, 8 lives down, I think I'll save one for next Christmas. And then kisses Max Schreck, taking her 8th life, and so she's got 1 life left.
Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, yeah, okay, so he killed her. He killed her.
And come on, I can't really hate a movie that's got, in terms of Batman Returns, I can't really hate a movie that's got Christopher Walken in it. Come on.
Then you must love that NBC Peter Pan.
That's not a movie.
It's close.
It's close, but that thing was crap. The music was good, but the rest of it was crap. What I saw of it.
I will say that's a list for the future for this show if Jim ever wants to do one later on.
Musicals?
Top Christopher Walken roles.
Nice.
I'd be up for that because I saw a movie that not a lot of people saw, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that that not a lot of people saw it, and it didn't get much acclaim because it was a fucking awesome movie.
Balls of Fury.
Nope, The Seven Psychos.
I loved him in Balls of Fury.
Psychopaths, yeah. That movie was awesome.
Yeah,
If you guys haven't seen that movie, you need to see that movie. It was awesome.
I wanted to see it, but the library's DVD got damaged and discarded before I could see it.
See, like my favorite role of his, I think I'd have to go back and and go through a few things, and double check. But I loved him as in Balls of Fury, and I also loved him in that. Oh, I saw him in a film recently where he was like this homeless, crazy guy, and it was wonderful. But I can't remember what that film was. But anyway, your number one, Jim.
He gave his number one, didn't he?
No, I didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he continued his thought on his number two.
Yeah, Batman Robin was my number 2, and I just picked up where I left off on that. And I unfortunately I did see this because it sounded like a great concept. And as far as I could tell in comics, it was a great concept, but it did not translate at all. Because I think, as bad as Batman and Robin was, we've been able to find a couple of positives that we sort of liked about it here and there. That's my number one. I don't think there's anything you can really, aside from, it had some nice effects, I don't think there's anything good you can say about this movie.
Okay.
Because I think, unless you count Steel, which I haven't seen, so I can't say whether that is or is not how bad that movie is. But the worst movie made based on a DC Comics property, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I like that movie. I've seen the movie. I liked it.
I'm going to say that film pisses all over everything to do with the comic. It's not that good. However, I did love the actor playing Dorian Gray, because that was right after he was fucking Lestat in Queen of the Damned, which was kind of a bad film, but I really loved his portrayal of him, and I loved him as Dorian Gray, and I sort of liked Sean Connery, because it's Sean Connery, but yeah, there's not much to like about that.
Not really. It made Sean Connery retire. No. And I will give you right.
It's too bad because I think that movie gets a bad rap. Personally, bear in mind I haven't read the comic, but I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a fun movie.
I watched it and I was like, okay, I get what you're trying to do here, but I don't see. It's like I got the idea. Like, okay, there's a bunch of story characters together. Like, this isn't all. I can see just watching it. Like, I haven't read the comic either, but I watched this movie and I'm like, okay, this is an awesome concept. I'm a librarian. I'm like, hey, it's book characters. This is great. I like this concept. But these don't feel like book characters. These feel like, I don't know what except for the Dorian Gray guy. He was fine. But now that you bring that up, you're right. He was pretty good now that I think back on that. But it's like, no. It's like, okay, you got Sean Connery.
And I believe Dorian Gray, and I can't believe I'm going to be the one to say that. And he didn't look it up, but I believe his name was Stuart Townsend or something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I remembered his name. Instead of just calling him Lestat.
Nice. But yeah, it's like I'm watching Sean Connery. It's like he'd clearly rather be anywhere but in this movie. It's like, okay, like I got a horribly CGI'd Mr. Hyde over there that looked like shit.
To be fair, this wasn't the worst film Sean Connery's ever been in.
Well, no. I'm aware of that.
I'm just saying when you're saying it's so bad it made him retire, it's like he's been in worse stuff.
This is true.
Yeah, this fair. I wish League of Extraordinary Gentlemen had been made today.
Yes.
Because it was being made today when they actually have more respect for the comics. Like if they gave it to someone like Zack Snyder, who's doing like Man of Steel, and he also did Watchmen. He adapted Watchmen, the Unwatchable. I think he could do it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I just think that version, it was just, okay, they had a couple of good cast members and whatnot, but it felt like the characters didn't really feel like the characters. Sean Connery didn't seem to give a shit. There was horrible CGI on Mr. Hyde. And it just, the other thing I will mention is that Captain Nero's submarine was awesome. I will give you that much. The Nautilus was awesome, but it felt like it was trying to be something awesome, and it just couldn't quite get there. Like, it put the pieces together, but it couldn't make them fit.
Yeah,
like, this is a great concept. I want this movie to be awesome. Why isn't this movie awesome?
It felt like they knew they needed to make League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, But then midway through, I assumed the studios would have got involved or something, because what we got was not League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's taking that concept and trying to apply it to like a Spider-Man, X-Men-ish type film or Fantastic Four type film, and it's like you don't understand what the characters are, how this world universe works, why it functions, how it functions. You've just said, okay, it's just like the Avengers, we're just going to team them all up. It's like, no, this one's actually more intelligent than those, and I like some of those films I just mentioned. But it's more intelligent, and you took out the intelligence.
Mm-hmm. If you want to make it intelligent, because
they also. Oh, I was just going to say they also used the wrong character.
Which one?
They used a couple of wrong characters, like for example, Dracula's daughter. Really?
Well, in other words, hasn't there been like 10,000 members of that team in the comics?
They have, but the point with each one that's been in there is they're actually proper book characters. Like instead of Dracula's daughter, it should have been Dracula.
Yeah, there was probably a copyright issue. That's probably why they couldn't do that.
It was probably the studio dictating you must have a female lead.
Probably.
That too. Anyway, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. We're not you.
Forget. If they made that movie today, that could be awesome, because if they wanted to take the piss out of something and make it awesome and wanted to make it intelligent, what they should do, because they were fighting the bad guy in that movie was Professor Moriarty, right?
Yep.
So what they should do is they should remake that movie. They should remake that movie today, make it a little more to the comics, get some, make the characters a little more believable, maybe some slightly better acting, and have the bad guy Moriarty be played by Moriarty from Sherlock.
But he's dead.
Well, the actor. I don't necessarily mean the character. Is that like he can play the character in more than one franchise and have it not necessarily be the same character, even though people will think it is.
See, I'm gonna say for the record,
technically, I don't think he's dead, because I don't know. Have you seen the new season?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think he is. I mean, dude randomly appeared on TV. Spoiler for anybody who hasn't watched the end of Sherlock.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say, personally,
You miss me?
Yeah, personally, I said I loved Sherlock. Sherlock is my favorite adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. I love Sherlock Holmes, as you guys know. However, if I was going to do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen right now, if I wanted to cash in, I'd fucking tie Robert Downey Jr. into it as Sherlock Holmes. You got the star power, a previous franchise, and make it in continuity with that.
That's a damn good. Oh my god, that's a brilliant idea, because the dude that was Moriarty in that movie was fucking awesome too.
Yeah, that would just so work.
Yeah, it would. Make it happen.
Because that dude that played Moriarty in that movie has appeared as a serial killer on like every cop show on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're going to do that, you want to make this hugely successful and wipe away the stain of the previous one. Even though I enjoyed it, I'll admit it was a pretty bad movie. If you're gonna get Robert Downey Jr., League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, written and directed by Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work.
I can see that.
Starring Robert Downey Jr. There you go. Boom. Instant success.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Zack Snyder.
That would work too. He did Watchmen. And the League is more of a Watchmen type franchise than an Avengers, than a Justice League type franchise.
It is, but I was thinking Whedon would approach it less like Avengers and approach it more like Buffy.
But to be fair, with how much comedy and stuff was in Buffy, Buffy's actually closer to like Spider-Man or Avengers than it is Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
It needs those darker, serious tones, which I love Whedon, but he wouldn't be the right guy, sadly.
Fair enough. All right, Jim. So, go ahead and move on.
Alrighty, so that's the end of the movie awards. Let's move on to some television awards for worst DC Comics related television series.
DCember!
Exactly. Okay. So, I guess I'll go first for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we want to just keep the order and you want to go first, Marcus.
Nope, you go first. You're a TV guy. That's why I had you go last.
Okay. So, for TV shows, my number 3 worst TV show, The Batman. Which I will admit, when that show first came on, I started watching it. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting interpretation. This is kind of cool. And then they brought in the Joker, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did you... What? Granted, they tried to fix it later and they put him in the suit and shit, but I'm like, what the fuck did you just? What is it? What, Joker has to be an animal because what are you a fan of Batman Returns or Penguin was an animal? What the fuck? I don't understand this.
More on this later.
Joker got involved in a Marvel crossover and got injected with Beast's DNA.
Pretty much. That combined with a couple of the other villains were a little bit out there. It was. I understand what they were going for, and it was an interesting new take on Batman. And I'll give it to you, it was not exactly a bad take. It was just a take I did not particularly enjoy. Plus, unfortunately, I stopped watching before they introduced the apparently slightly badass reinterpretation of the Riddler. So, which I'll admit that Riddler, at least in photos, looked pretty cool.
Wow, you must have stopped around series 1. That was like series 2, and they've done like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, I think I only watched like the first season. I don't think I watched beyond that.
Or the creators of the Batman really loved the Amalgam universe and wanted to use Hyena. I don't know if either of you remember that character.
I do.
Of the Creeper combined with Lobo, and they were like, fuck it, make it the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So that was number 3, was the Batman, and more on that from Mole shortly. Number 2, and
Did you
this
just
one
call Marcus Shorty?
Did I?
No.
I was kidding when you said more on that shortly. I said, wait, did you just say more on that shorty? Marcus?
Nice.
Don't call me Shirley.
Number 2 on my list. This one, I've seen some episodes of it here and there when I was younger. I don't really remember it that well, but I know that, in retrospect, thinking about the show, looking back at it, that while I'll admit it was a product of its time, yeah. And I'm not sure which version of it was the version that I saw, because I'm not totally sure, because I tried to look it up and the pictures they didn't really match. So I'm assuming it was the earlier of the versions. I'm not positive. But I gave it to Super Friends. Because, while I'll admit it had some nice cheese to it. Number 1, why bastardize Aquaman? What did Aquaman ever do to you? And number two, what the fuck was the purpose of the Wonder Twins? Okay, you turned into a bird and water. I'm really shocked that you didn't much more quickly run out of ideas on how a bird and water can be useful in a fight.
It's not a bird, it's different animals, I believe.
No, she was usually birds, though. Am I correct in that, Mo?
Why are you asking him? I'm the one that saw it. I'm the old guy here.
I'm aware of that, but I'm assuming the Wonder Twins studied the comics in some form and weren't just pulled out of the cartoon creator's ass.
Nope, it was pulled out of the cartoon creator's ass and then adapted to the comics later when the characters became
adapted. They were adapted to the thing, but I'm pretty sure I may be the only person here who owns it all on DVD because I'm the comic guy.
Oh, shut down, Shadow.
I would love to actually own that. I love that show, but yeah, it was usually form of some animal, because I distinctly remember Jaina becoming a snake at one point when Jan became like an ice crane. So yeah, it was usually animals followed by him being some form of water, be it liquid, solid, or gas.
Which was incredibly stupid, but...
Yes.
And it was incredibly stupid, but I will give credit to something, because at least the people running DC now are aware of how stupid that was. Because I know you two don't watch it, but if it happens to be on, I've seen a couple episodes of Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm. More on that in my list.
I've seen that.
But there's an episode of Teen Titans Go where the Wonder Twins show up.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what happens is they fire Beast Boy for reasons. So think about he's a mess and a pig and rude and whatever. But anyway, they fire Beast Boy and anime sad faces. Anyway, so Beast Boy gets fired and leaves. And so Robin's immediate reaction is, okay. And the Titans' immediate reaction is, okay, we need to. It's like, all right, looks like we got auditions for a new hero to join our team. One who has animal powers, and one that they go ahead and say the things that they want in a teammate. So they start interviewing team members, and there's some funny little parodies of various animal-related DC characters that show up here and there. But the one they end up going with is what are they? Jen and Jessica, was that their names? Something like that. What?
It's I believe it's Jan and Jaina.
Jan and Jaina, thank you. I knew it was with J's. Anyway, Jan and Jaina showed up for the interview, and they find out that Jaina can turn into animals, and they're like, oh, sweet, perfect. but they don't like Jan because Jan only turns into water, and they all think that power is stupid. So they make him their receptionist, and they take Jan out to go fight evil. But she keeps having to run back to the tower to touch him to turn into shit. It's hilarious.
Yep. And I also just wanted to say to you, Jimmy, like, yeah, it's kind of stupid at just turning into the animal, and how the hell could they find new ways of doing that? Yeah, good point. So how was your Animorphs?
Touche. It was more the water thing than the animal thing. Anyway, yeah, so Super Friends. And,
I will say the Wonder Twins gave us Gleek. Gleek was fucking awesome.
I don't know. I've never been a fan of Glee or their fans.
Yeah, me either. They're kind of annoying.
Wow, says the guy who's a massive fan of Darren Chris. You fucking hypocrite.
I'm a fan of Darren Chris. I have never watched an episode of Glee.
To be
Neither
fair,
have I.
you're a fan of Uma Thurman. Does that mean you like Batman and Robin?
No, but she did a good job in that movie.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
I haven't seen very much of stuff that she's been in, but from what I've been told, the only good movies that she's been in are Kill Bill 1 and 2.
And Pulp Fiction. How the fuck
Yeah.
did you not include Pulp Fiction?
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And I'll admit, as stupid as it is, and it's not a good film, it's really not a good film, I did sort of have a guilty pleasure for my super ex-girlfriend.
I did want to see that. That looked like a stupid, fun movie.
That did look like a stupid fun movie.
It was stupid and it was fun.
Alright. Okay, and the number one DC TV show, and again, I've seen some episodes of this, and while I could understand such a thing appealing to certain age groups, I feel like it just didn't need to exist overall, and that they really started stretching this to try to make this concept work, and it felt like it was just, okay, there's a limit to, it's for kids, we can do this, is acceptable. Crypto the Super Dog.
Never saw that.
Because I was going, okay, you're going to make a show, okay, it's for little kids, it's about Crypto the Super Dog, he lives with this little kid who finds out that he can talk and he's Crypto, and for some reason he's living in this kid's backyard instead of with Superman. I never really found out why that happened. I was like, okay, I'll give you, okay, Crypto's a super dog, that's fun, I'll give you that. Oh, Ace the Bat Hound is there and he flies around on a bat glider. Okay, I'll give you the Bat Hound. That part was actually kind of cool. But then they start introducing animal counterparts of like every member of the Justice League, and then extra animals that have random powers that make no sense, and they've got their animal space station. It's like, okay, now you're getting ridiculous. It's a kid's show, but there's a limit.
That show was oddly fun, though. Like, Joker's hyenas were great villains.
It was fun, it just didn't make any damn sense.
It didn't. And that's why
Did they bring in the Green Lantern dog? Tell me they brought in the Green Lantern dog.
I can't remember a Green Lantern dog, but I haven't seen every episode, to be fair. I did miss a couple.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know the character I'm speaking of, right, Mole?
I do. But didn't in that show, wasn't there a little like bird or something that was like Wonder Bird or something?
Yeah, there was a bird on the team.
That sounds oddly entertaining now that you guys are talking about it.
It's one of those shows, my nephew started to watch that and he really loved that show. I watched it and I was like, this is dumb. When part of me is like, I can't stop watching it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's so dumb, it's enjoyable. It's like almost absurd comedy, if that makes sense. Absurdism or whatever you call it, where it's like, it's funny because it makes no sense. And I'm like, that's funny.
Pretty much. So, yeah, there you go. Those are my three on the TV shows. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. We can end with Mole and he can go into video games. If that's cool with Mole.
That works.
That's cool. Okay, so my number 3, Smallville. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen enough. And yeah, just what the fuck have you done? Like early Smallville was okay.
Series 1 to 4 was fucking awesome, and that's probably the best live-action Lex we've had.
Yeah, like I saw like an episode or two from like season 1. I was like, okay, I could buy into this, and I didn't really get into the series. I wasn't interested in it. And then I saw episodes after season 4. I was like, what have you done?
Yeah.
I was
The,
like, yeah, you've totally jumped the shark with this one. I'm done here.
the last season was pretty good. The first four were pretty good. Everything in between, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, were fucking terrible.
Let's put it this way. I saw the Doomsday episode. Yeah, I was like, no, just no.
Yeah, the Doomsday episode was fucking horrible. One hit kills him.
Yeah, making him human and what have you done to Doomsday? He
remembers
wasn't that good a character to begin with, but
And I will admit, while the earlier seasons were pretty damn good, oh god, what they did to Mr. McPickle
I'm almost glad I didn't see that based on what I've heard about that.
They turned him, Jim, into an emo high school student.
I feel like you've mentioned that to me before.
I have, but I also wanted to get that out there for the purposes of the video.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he should never be that. He should always be Marcus size. Oh, I'm kidding. You're not him. You're Batmite.
Nice.
I liked Batmite. Yeah.
Batmite's cool. They're both cool characters, but yes,
Yeah.
that's my number 3.
The character of Chloe was good. I did like Chloe. She was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that show gave us the most hated character on CW history.
No?
Lana Lang.
Lana.
She was good early on, but then when they kept forcing it and the actress wanted to do more physical stuff, so they made her a vampire and a witch and all this other stuff, it didn't work for that series. It became ridiculous. And it kind of ruined it. And she became basically there just to be saved, and everyone had to bend over for her. To the point where it was like, well, why is this character still alive? Clark would be so much better if she died.
Fair enough.
Although I will say, I believe Series 8, I think it's Series 8, it might be Series 8, had probably, it was either Series 8 or Series 7, had probably my favourite scene on any live-action DC show so far. Lionel Luthor's funeral.
Okay.
Because, spoiler alert, who cares? Lex killed Lionel by throwing him out the window and said, "I lived my life in your shadow, you're going to die in mine." And he murdered his own father, which makes sense when you saw how his father was to him for the series.
Mm-hmm.
His funeral, Clark had bonded with him before he died, and he'd become nice, and Clark had been like a son to him and stuff like that. And at the funeral, it's literally just Lex and Clark. They don't speak a single word. There's just music. And Clark looks at Lex with this look like he's searching for hope. And then he just turns away in disgust, and you see Lex smirk and then walks past him. And I'm like, that whole scene just summed up their relationship so beautiful. That scene is just amazing. You need to search for that scene, people.
I may have to do that. All right. So my number 2 worst, my number 2 on the top 3 worst TV shows, DC TV shows. Teen Titans Go. Now, don't get me wrong, and I have seen episodes of this. Don't get me wrong. The acting, of course, is awesome because it's the Teen Titans cast. The humor is actually pretty good, and it's actually written pretty well for what it is. But that's where I have my problem, is what it is. It's, number one, it's not Teen Titans, which I actually like the Teen Titans cartoon, and after seeing the finale of that, I was like, no, bring it back for another season. But the fact that the fact that they basically, Teen Titans Go originally was basically a series of shorts aired on Cartoon Network. It's one of those things where it's like you have like a 5-10 minute short, and it's aired between like episodes of their shows, like how they do it now with some of the other stuff, which was cool. It's like, okay, people love Teen Titans, and so they want to give them more Teen Titans without having to do the big humongo commitment thing, and because all the other voice actors and actresses were off doing their own stuff too, other stuff. And so they do these little shorts, and they just sprinkle them in there and be like, because you guys have been such staunch, loyal fans and supporters of Teen Titans, we're just going to give you, little bits of Teen Titans. Cool. Fair enough. And I think that's kind of awesome, little comedic things with the Teen Titans. Then they decided to make a whole TV series out of it, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Just, I can't stand that show because of that. I just, and because as they changed the characters a little bit to make it fit the show more, they made them even more comedic and goofy than they were, which, in Teen Titans, I'll admit that there were a lot of comedic stuff. They were goofy, especially Beast Boy, but at the same time, early on in Teen Titans, I think they were a little more goofy, but as the series went on, the characters actually started to get a little more serious, and at least to me, it almost felt like you were growing up with the Titans. Like the Titans were maturing during the series, to the point that the finale of the series is fucking awesome. I love the finale of Teen Titans, and it's just like they went from that from the growth of Teen Titans, and basically went and made Teen Titans babies, and I'm just like, no. And the worst part of it is, it's supposed to be a sequel to Teen Titans. It's supposed to take place after the finale of Titans because they continue relationships and threads, story threads started in Teen Titans, and they carry it forward. And I'm just like, no, this is terrible. No. If this was its own thing, fair enough, but they made it in continuity and made it a direct sequel. Like, it's instead of the next season, Titans were giving you this. I'm like, fuck you. So that's why I did not like Teen Titans Go. Does Jim have any comments to make on that?
Well, like I said, I watched a couple of Teen Titans Go, and I don't really hate it that much. I can understand why you do, because compared to the regular Teen Titans, yeah, it's kind of a bastardization and childification of that concept. But at the same time, I'm like, the voice acting's the same. They're still kind of the same fun characters. They're just a little more animated and a little cuter. And it didn't seem like it was that off the base from what it originally was, all that the darkness being lost, of course. And come on. Mm-hmm. Trigon in slacks and a sweater. Come on.
Well, because, I don't know, I guess I just felt that the next logical step for Teen Titans with the direction they were going with, in terms of the tone of the show and just the out-and-out fabulous writing of the Teen Titans show, I felt the next step was to take it and basically Young Justice-ize it. That's where I was hoping it would go. I was hoping it would become a slightly darker, since they were starting to steadily go darker with the show. Make it a little more mature show, age the characters a little bit.
Have you seen Young Justice?
I have seen an episode or two, yes.
Okay, because when I asked you the other day when we did the review, you said you hadn't seen any of it. But yeah, the animation completely different to Teen Titans, and it's all serious.
It is, yeah.
None of it is taking the piss the way Teen Titans did.
Right, but I didn't say make it Young Justice. I just thought I would. As I said, I thought, and I was hoping that the next logical step would be to move it in that direction, to make it more like Young Justice, because it seemed like they were moving in a more serious direction. Obviously, it wouldn't get that serious, but to take how far they went and how serious they actually made the show, and to take it and make it nothing but a parody of what it was, that to me was kind of a slap in the face. And that's not to say the show itself is bad. Teen Titans Go is not a bad show. It's just, to me, not a good successor to the Teen Titans show, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough.
But yes, my number one worst DC TV show, Batman and Robin, because fuck that shit. That's when the animated series ceased to be the animated series and became Cash Cow, the animated series. Oh my god, was that fucking terrible.
It's also when Joker lost his eyeballs and got them replaced with black dots.
Yeah, I mean, the decline started before they changed the show over to Batman and Robin, but when it became Batman and Robin, the shift in the art style, which I'm sorry, on the whole, I hated the art style of Batman and Robin. Some of the characters looked cool, but on the whole, just, it was terrible. And then when they shifted the focus from Batman to Batman and Robin, and just shifting that focus, I did not like. Granted, Dick was in the animated series. There was Batman and Robin stuff, but because it was Batman the animated series, for most of that run, the focus was on Batman. But as the focus started to shift, that's when the series started to decline. And they called it Batman and Robin, and I'm just like, I saw a couple episodes, I was like, this is crap. What have you done to the animated series?
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's my number one. On to the mole.
Okay. Number 3. Superman and the Legion of Superheroes.
Have not seen that one.
I kind of like the comics of that, and they've done Supergirl and the Legion too, which is kind of cool. It's sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy style concept, but with Superman or Supergirl or something inserted into it, where they end up going through a portal or however they do it, because it's various versions do it differently. They end up going into the future and team up with a group in the future in space and stuff. Kind of cool. The show used the same animation as the Batman, and it just fell off. It just didn't feel like this was a good show at all. It was just like, it was unwatchable, and I was so disappointed by it. I really was disappointed by that. But
so basically, it was a spiritual successor to Superman the Animated Series, is what you're saying?
No, because Superman the Animated Series was animated like Justice League and stuff, not like the Batman.
No, I said spiritual successor in how like the Batman's a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, you mean sort of? They're not really spiritual successors. They're other adaptations.
Right. It's the Batman, but with Superman, so they'd have the same thing that Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series had.
Sounds
like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because basically Superman, whenever he goes there, he's normally taken from the past, like when he's Superboy, just starting off as Superman, and they did the good job of that. They grab him from Smallville and take him there and stuff. Cool. Yeah, did not like the end result. I don't know if Jim saw any episodes of that though, but that show was horrible.
I did not.
Fair enough. My number 2, which I know is on Jim's list, The Batman. I'm going to give props where props deserves. It did a lot of things very well. Batgirl's arc, and when they introduced her and Poison Ivy and stuff, was great and showed strong female superheroes. Awesome. Clayface's story at the end of Series 1, beginning of Series 2 type thing, which was basically like the Harvey Dent story in Batman the Animated Series, really well done. I just fucking hated that Joker. And I didn't like a load of the art styles and stuff. Some of the designs worked, like Mr. Freeze was badass. Bane was fucking unbelievably awesome. He looked wrong in terms of how he looked, but he was awesome. Like, he was fighting Batman man to man, and when he injected himself with that cool venom, was like, Hulking awesome. But a load of stuff they just did wrong, like the Joker. The reason they did the Joker the way they did is they wanted Joker to be able to fight Batman. They also based him more on modern circus performers who were more acrobatics. So he was meant to be like an acrobatic Joker, and he had like dreadlocks and shit, and he was doing stuff with. I didn't like it. I hated that Joker. And like I said, part of the show, while some of it was good, there was so much bad there, it just weighed it down. It just disappointed me. Because it was like so much potential gone.
Fair enough.
I wasn't sure if Jim agreed with any of that though. Like some of the designs I liked.
Yeah, some of the stuff was pretty cool. I'll give you that. There was just, and some of it just felt off and just didn't work. But yeah, some of the designs were pretty cool. I did like them. I did like that. I did like when he went out to fight Bane. He had that big bat armor suit. That was kind of badass.
That was awesome. I also loved the fact Bane destroyed it, and we saw Batman didn't. The whole point was Batman didn't need to rely on a suit. It was who he was that would help him beat him. That was cool. I loved Mr. Freeze. Fucking loved Mr. Freeze. When he comes out, he does like a Dragon Ball Z style attack to do his ice attacks, and like lifts his hands up and does like a freeze a death ball of ice and swirling lizards and so.
That was pretty cool. He needed the gun. He just used his hands. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was so awesome. But then Joker. And what the hell was up with those Asian robotic female sex slave / robots with Vega claws of penguins? Because the way they did them on this was just weird. But yeah, I didn't like that one. And my number one worst TV show, Teen Titans. You want to talk about a slap to the fucking face or a bastardization like people mentioned with Teen Titans Go? How about a show that was based on the comics about these superheroes not needing to live in the shadows of their former selves and could go off and actually be more mature, great heroes? Complaining what's on TV, sleeping in their costumes, eating food, renaming Changeling back to Beast Boy, and doing everything that's shit all over everything at the comics' actual concept, and was literally a slap to the face to the point where Teen Titans Go was the logical step with that, because that was Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans was a bastardization of the concept, and it felt like it was made for complete idiots who wouldn't get the actual concept. So it seems Teen Titans Go was the logical step. It just, let's make it even dumber. And I fucking hated that show. They did so much wrong with it. Oh, and the animation, whether it's trying to be an anime, and it's like, fuck off, not everything needs to be an anime. Well, that was my number one. I don't know what Jim thinks about that one. I don't know, Jim, did you see that one, Jim?
Which one?
Teen Titans was my number one.
The regular Teen Titans?
Yeah.
No, I like that show.
I hated it. Like I said, whether they were sleeping in their costumes, and it was just not what the comics of Teen Titans were. And
Okay, I don't remember them sleeping in their costumes. That sounds stupid.
There was multiple times where, like, Beast Boy would go in to wake up Raven, and there she is in her costume, or wake up Robin, and there he is sleeping on his bed in his Robin costume. And it's like, oh, and you never see their true identities.
Nope.
And I was like, oh.
In fact, we barely know which Robin it is. I think only once did they ever call him Dick.
We know it's Dick because of a few things. Like one episode, we saw the future, and he was Nightwing.
Ah. Okay.
But yeah, they didn't show him as Dick, and yeah, what the hell was wrong with? And why the hell is Starfire a complete airheaded bimbo? Oh.
True.
Well, in all fairness, I don't know much about the comics, but from what DC's apparently trying to portray her as, apparently she's just a big-haired, big-titted bimbo.
Exactly. Yeah, she was more than that. She was a little naive in the same way Miss Martian was, and Martian Manhunter and stuff were, because she didn't quite understand some stuff with Earth. Yes, but not fucking Free Phoebe from Friends.
True. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Teen Titans was the best show ever. I had issues. One of my biggest issues was exactly Robin, because for the longest time I couldn't tell who it was, because it's basically Dick Grayson's outfit wielding a fucking staff, and I'm like, Dick never wielded a staff. He uses tonfas.
He totally wields a staff. He's an acrobatic character. Did you not play the Lego games?
Mm-hmm. And I would also like to further counter your point with Injustice Gods Among Us. Nightwing can split the thing between Tonfas or combine them together into a staff.
Yeah, they did do that later on, but yeah, it's a case. Yeah, that was
they did
silly.
that later on, but he never used the staff as Robin.
Yeah,
that was Tim Drake's thing. Tim Drake is the Robin that used the staff.
Yeah, that was the thing. They tried to combine all the Robins into one, and they were going to leave it vague. But when people wanted them to name it, so they showed it was Dick. But yeah. Oh god, that was weird. I also didn't like the fact Deathstroke, who's like an anti-hero, was portrayed as a stupid villain who always he was kind of cool at first, but then kept getting beat by them so easily. And called him Slade, which is his real name. He's not supposed to be called Slade. He's supposed to be called Deathstroke if he's wearing the mask. I'd be like, that's basically the problem Marcus Shadow had with Batman and Robin, of Batman walking around and people calling him Bruce.
Yeah.
But no.
That, and if I recall in that scene when she says, Bruce, it's me, doesn't she take off her mask? Which is like superhero 101, stupid bitch! Don't take your mask off in the middle of a fight in public!
She had a face?
Yeah, true. I'd like to point out two things about that scene. Number one, they were in Poison Ivy's lair where nobody else was to see.
I like two things about that scene too, Jim. Huh?
Yeah. But no, number one, they're in Poison Ivy's lair. There's nobody there but them. And number two, she just knocked Poison Ivy the fuck out. So, yeah.
Still, you never take your mask off.
True. Although she was starting off, she didn't know Superhero 101. This was her first day.
And I technically no. I think Bruce Wayne has subverted that. I think the rule is take your mask off as long as you're wearing another mask.
Or take your mask off if you have to, because Batman Returns, he took his mask off, but he did it as a tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up killing the only other person who knew that was Bruce anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. But, yeah, on to worst video games, I believe.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay, number 3. Watchmen, The End is Nigh.
I had heard about that game.
Who loves the intelligence and the wonder and all the greatness about Watchmen? Or who would like to see Watchmen condensed down into a shitty downloadable beat 'em up game? What? Everyone's saying number 1?
I'd like to see the Watchmen where John can give you cancer and then turn into a car.
Yeah, but this one literally they took that concept and it plays almost like the Lego game style, you know what I mean? That style 3D beat 'em up game without getting studs and stuff. And it's like none of this feels like Watchmen. It's dumb. And I think you can only play as 2 of the Watchmen too. Rorschach and Night Owl.
Wow.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'd like to play as Rorschach, but I'd want the options to play as the other ones.
Yeah.
My number 2, Injustice, God Among Us.
Fair enough.
Because I'm a fan of fighting games. Not games where you can just press one button and send them flying through a fucking wall and knock off half their health with no effort put into it. I hated the storyline. I hated some of the costumes, or a lot of the costumes, and a lot of the voice acting. I didn't like the voices they chose. It's like almost none of that game was good. And it disappoints me because I love Mortal Kombat. I even had a soft spot in my heart for Mortal Kombat v DC, I will admit. Even though that game wasn't great, I still sort of appreciated it. And I went into this with high expectations. If I love DC, I love Mortal Kombat. You put the two together. How the hell can that go wrong? I now know.
Mm.
And my number 1 worst video game of all time, of DC at least, DC Universe Online, after it went free to play, when they added glitches and broke everything and ruined the whole concept of what the game was.
Sounds about right.
Yep, and it's like, really? Oh, don't worry, they just added a new patch now, Marcus. You can wear a Superman hoodie. What? You wanted them to patch when you fell through the floor, not give you a Superman hoodie? Well, why didn't you say so? And like I said, like I mentioned a while back, they did a poll, Jim, with DCU online.
Okay.
They asked the gamers after it went free to play with the free to play audience, what would you like added to DCUO? And they wanted stuff like layers and bases and stuff like that, and extra costume pieces and stuff added, instead of the option that was on there of improvements to glitches. My God, the audience couldn't have been dumber for that.
Mm.
That's the stupidest choice to make in any video game. Yeah, we don't want glitch. We don't want you to fix the gameplay and glitches. Nah, just give us an extra costume or base. It's like, really? Or the whole thing of, yeah, don't worry, this game will never include crafting. We just added crafting.
Troll face.
Yeah, fuck that game. So over to Jim.
Sure, what the hell?
I believe, because the first one went Marcus, me, you, so I think it would go me, you, Marcus. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, then. So, let's go through on this. My number 3 game.
Number 3.
Number 3 was Batman Returns on the SNES.
Fuck you, that game was awesome.
I didn't like that game.
I don't blame you.
It was basically nothing but it was nothing but a beat 'em up. Which okay, most games at that time were beat 'em up, but it wasn't easy to play. And I don't know. It wasn't easy to play. It was incredibly difficult. Well, it was difficult to get through in terms of. It wasn't easy to play in terms of gameplay. It was difficult to get through in terms of why is there so many goons. I
Have you played Final Fight?
No, I haven't.
That's basically Final Fight. And you want a Batman beat 'em up that's difficult to play? Try playing Batman and Robin. Oh my God, you want to talk shit controls?
Did you just compare Batman Returns the game to Final Fight?
He did.
That's basically what it was. It was a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
It was a
Fighting waves of enemies.
It was a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but that's not the same thing. That would be like comparing, I don't know, a game like fucking Girls Fight to Street Fighter because they're both fighting games. No.
But Batman Returns was really hard. I couldn't get anywhere in it. The gameplay felt repetitive and boring. I just didn't like that game. Batman Returns on SNES.
You won't like many side-scrolling beat 'em ups because it's all repetitive. It's all about fighting waves of enemies and moving on to the next screen.
It is, but a lot of them do make it interesting, like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Power Rangers the movie, or
Power Rangers the movie is awesome. I love that game.
Or Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety, or Maximum Carnage.
Yes, Maximum Carnage.
Which is an example of a really shitty, fucking horrible, probably the worst comic ever written, being adapted into a fucking awesome thing.
It is.
Fair enough. I really,
most stuff.
I really like the Batman Returns game. I own that game. It's a fun game, but fair enough.
I felt
Number
the
two.
Silver Armored Spider-Man token.
Oh, it wasn't the worst side-scrolling beat-em up ever.
No.
I played worse.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna get there.
You have Thundercats on the DS there with a stupid hit detection, no blocking mechanism, and archers across the screen constantly throwing arrows at you, so you have no chance to get through it.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I have something that's pretty bad. First of all, number 2, and this is the one that actually made out to both sides of the coin on my list for different reasons. It was on my positive list. It's also on my worst list, and that's DCUO, for reasons that were already mentioned for the most part. Basically, yeah. Well, it's on my good list because it's fun to play. I enjoy it. It's like, yeah, okay. You get to the end game, and then it's endless grinding and pay to win, which is stupid. Shit glitches out half the time. They had to revamp all the powers and shit. You don't get to really play a lot with the actual known heroes like Superman and Batman and shit. It's like, no, this game has problems. They could have done that better.
Fun fact for you.
Yes.
There's a new patch for DCUO, which will now allow you to play as the heroes in, I think it was duos or something, where you can go through as Bane or Superman or something.
Oh, legendary duos? Nice.
You're welcome.
Fair enough.
I figured you were going to try that eventually, but yeah.
I'll try that at some point. And the number 1 worst DC video... I haven't played that many DC video games, for the record, which is why I don't have that many on this list. But the number 1, by far, the worst DC video game I've ever played, going back to the SNES, because I played Batman Returns, and I got to both at the same time. Batman Returns is okay, but Batman Forever on the SNES is a piece of garbage.
I haven't played that one.
Which makes it faithful to the film.
Pretty much. That game is so fucking terrible. Now, not because the gameplay is bad. The graphics for the SNES, the graphics are actually pretty good. The gameplay, as far as I can tell, when I level selected the shit to find out what else actually happened in the game, because there were codes back in the day, which were awesome.
Up, down, left to right. That's
right.
My bad.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
Sonic 1.
it seems like the levels are generally good. The problem is that game has the worst controls I have ever seen on a video game ever. That's why I was so happy when the Angry Video Game Nerd tore that shit apart. Because, oh my god, this is terrible controls. But, the controls, they're just so stupid. You'll spend hours trying to figure out what the hell to do until you figure out that select is a fucking action button that you have to hit as regular part of the game. Who the fuck uses select as an action button? There was no reason for that bullshit. I think select was a button that you like used to because you had to move
Access the menu.
Yeah, when it was at the menu. In this game, it was, I think, when you had to, because the biggest problem that everybody hated about that game was that when you went in, it was the kind of game where there was multiple levels, and there were openings in the various parts of the ceiling or floor, depending on where you were, and you could move to the different levels of the building you were fighting through at that time. And the problem was, for the ages, I couldn't figure out how the fuck to move to a different level, because I'm stuck on this level trying to fight my way through it. I can't figure out where the fuck to go. And if I recall correctly, I believe the deal was, I think, up and select was what you used to launch a grappling hook to go up through the hole in the ceiling. I'm like, who the fuck would ever think of that? That is the stupidest control scheme I've ever heard of in my life. It is that was just a absolutely terrible control scheme. Absolutely terrible.
Fair enough.
There was no reason for that crap, and I hate that game. But I will admit that I did level select it through just to check out some of the levels, and like I said, the graphics were very good. And when you were not trying to, platform and you were just fighting people, the beat-up controls worked pretty well. I thought, I fought Two-Face, I fought Riddler, the backgrounds were nice, the characters were rendered pretty well for a, 16-bit era, and it wasn't bad. The controls just ruined that game because you had to, the only way to see anything was levels like that. You could not, you could play that game, but it was damn near impossible.
I was going to say, to its credit with the up and the select thing, at the time there was less buttons on the control pad.
That's true. But really, I'm just saying, you couldn't have made it something a little more like up and R or something. You could have made it a little easier.
They could have.
I'm just saying, nobody ever uses select for anything. To the point that game manufacturers have, in this generation, at least from certain of the game manufacturers, realize the select button is pointless and got rid of it.
Actually, technically, it's still there. On the PS4, the touchpad and the options work as start and select, but here's the fun part. No one's agreed on which one's which yet. So half the games allow the games it's the touchpad is select, but some of the other ones it's options. Yay! That's what I like.
That's what we like. Confusing shit that makes no damn sense.
I hate that I miss my start and select buttons.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes, grappling hook, extending staff, depending on if you were Batman or Robin, was the select button, and nobody would ever figure that out, that you would find the grappling hook with the select button, because who the hell would use that? Especially because the way you had to move your thumb over to select to hit it while at the same time holding up to aim it up at the thing in the roof. It's like you have to take your right hand, it doesn't work with the natural human hand movement on a game controller.
It might not do. Or I would argue that could be pretty innovative.
It could be innovative if they made a way for it to not be awkward as hell.
Yeah, I just mean because I remember on, I think it was PS1, the first time they brought out that new control pad where you had to click in the buttons and they were suddenly 2 extra buttons, and I'm like, a part of me was like, who the fuck makes you have to click in the stick for a button? That's not a button, it's a stick. But nowadays, I expect that on my control pad.
Yeah. I remember when I first played Ape Escape, which was one of the earliest PlayStation games that even used the analog sticks, and I'm like, how is it even going to work with these 2 sticks? I didn't get it. Then I played Ape Escape for a while, and I'm like, okay, this is actually awesome. Okay, left moves you, and the right swings the weapon around. That's kind of cool. And that leaves the pad free to move to select your weapons. So that's actually really innovative, and a lot of games do that now, and that's really cool.
Yep, and I would also say, I have played this now. You want worst video game controls, Jim? Mm-hmm. You need to play Hulk Hogan's main event on Xbox.
Oh, God. I didn't think there were controls. I thought that was just stand in the ring and get berated by Not and Hulk Hogan because they couldn't be bothered to pay him to actually appear in the damn video game.
He does appear.
Oh, does he?
He does appear on parts of it, yeah. But because he took a paycheck, he helped make the game and stuff, and was on the cover, and it was his licensing, and he does appear. But the problem is, there's no actual wrestlers, and you're doing stuff like you're playing it basically like Punch Out of dodge, punch. Dodge, punch. And it's just awkward to play. It feels awkward. It doesn't always respond. And it's like, oh. Mm-hmm. Hate that game.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
We need Marcus to review it.
There you go.
No, not happening.
Are you sure, brother?
I'm sure.
It's a review where you can constantly say brother
No.
and dress up as Ho Ho Hogan.
Besides, aren't you the gaming guy? Shouldn't you be the one reviewing it?
You're the movie guy, and we've done your job for you.
There is logic in what he says.
There is.
We did Flashpoint and various other movies.
That's true.
At any rate, yeah, those are my terrible video games. So back over to well, who's next? I guess it's Marcus, isn't it?
Yes.
Shadow.
My number 3. Let's complete the trifecta here. My number 3, DCUO.
Yeah.
I enjoy the game. It's fun, but wow, that game has so many issues. Just wow.
Should be worth mentioning, as I pointed out, it's DCUO after free-to-play.
Fair enough.
Same with gyms, yeah, because before free-to-play, it was awesome.
Fair enough.
Yep. Cough. Marcus hates PvP. Cough.
I do hate PvP.
To be fair, in MMOs, Jim, a lot of people don't like PvPs. That's why they do a PvE server, so you can avoid that.
No, I don't like PvP that much either. I'm just saying Marcus has like an abject hatred of it. If I recall correctly.
In that game, yes. Yes, no. I mean, they couldn't even get the PvE right, so yeah, don't even try the PvP.
I do like the Legends PvP.
That's fun.
I don't like the
playing as
normal.
Legends is fun.
I don't like the normal PvP. No.
No.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my number 3. Just I'm so disappointed with that game because I had fun playing it. If I ever get around to downloading it for PS4, I'll actually play it still. But just I wish it was better.
If anyone
I
out
miss City
there,
of Heroes.
if anyone out there has a gaming PC or a PC in general can play at least a little bit of games, totally check out Injustice. Well, not Injustice, Infinite Crisis.
I was going to ask, has anybody played Infinite Crisis and is it good?
I have. I've played the crap out of that. I was in the beta and stuff like that. I think it may still be in beta. It's pretty good if you like MOBAs. It's more difficult to learn than an MMO, but it's fun. I like it. And you could be all the different heroes and different versions. It's fun.
See, I signed up and got a beta invite. I just never actually used it.
You should try it one day, Jim. I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
I'm not a huge MOBA fan. I've tried playing them. I absolutely suck at MOBAs, so I've kind of given up on the MOBA genre.
Fair enough.
My number 2.
Then why'd you still buy wrestling games? High five, Jim. High five.
High five. Air 5.
I have the sense he wants to stab me.
Don't worry, Mo. You're fine. You're not famous yet.
Ah, good. He'll make me famous.
No, he's not.
They always gotta learn the hard way. Sorry, I had to when you used that quote. I had to do that.
Hey, it makes sense. That's the reason I used it. We talk about wrestling.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, my number 2, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Just go watch the review. Just I'm so disappointed with that game. Yes, Mo and I reviewed that game. What's that?
I'm gonna play it first, and then I'll judge whether it was a disappointment.
It's still a fun game if you can get past its flaws. I mean, I enjoy it, but at the same time, I recognize its flaws, and I'm just like, I recognize it's a lot worse than the games that have come before it.
Well, for the benefit, for the spoilers, audience, but for the potential benefit of audience members and myself, what are the flaws?
Flaws of the game? Well, let's see. They got rid of the big city hub, which, fair enough, with this game that kind of wouldn't have worked, but feels...
space.
Yeah, but it still feels lackluster and lacking. Like, for instance...
Female characters are treated like shit.
Yeah, female characters that are treated like shit. But for instance, Jim, after you've beaten the game, the Lantern planets open up as, quote, hubs, unquote. Now, I went to Oa and subsequently some of the other planets. Yeah, all it is a somewhat tiny little ass planet that has nothing but races and a couple of unlockables here and there. So it's basically nothing but races for gold bricks, littering the entire playing field. There's nothing to fucking explore.
Oa? I hardly know her.
Oh. The only thing you do is you go to the planet, you get a vehicle, you do a race, and you hope the controls don't fuck you over.
Okay then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also hate the fact, which I think Marcus likes, but I hate the fact when you fly as Superman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, a created person with an S on their chest, possibly a created Wonder Woman, I don't know. You get the music that drowns out the actual in-game audio, and all the way through the game, you hear like Cyborg and Flash and stuff do it in the actual levels, but all throughout the game, they constantly bombard you with na 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 Batman, and it's like, it's funny for the first time, but they overdid it, and why the fuck is Conan O'Brien in that game? And why the fuck doesn't he shut up? And why is he always placed by things you need to use and then put on a loop?
And why does he lie in the game?
Yeah.
I still maintain he outright lies, because he tells you what the Bat computer does, but there's no way to actually turn the fucking thing on.
Oh, I'd say he lies more than once, because when you go to use the character creator as well, he's also like, oh, hey, don't go making any, and he mentions all his pieces. He's not a playable character.
Yep.
But it is still fun, I will admit.
Yeah.
And I also don't like the DLC missions are so fucking short.
Yeah, why? No, you should not have to pay for that crap.
Fair enough.
And my number one worst DC game, Batman Begins. I hate this game with a passion.
I'm actually surprised.
Why?
No, I know you don't like Batman Begins, but I was surprised. I thought there'd be more games on your list, like the PS2 Batman games.
I don't know if I ever played them.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought you would have, because it was based on the animated series and ties into them and stuff.
Oh, like Rise of Sinzu and stuff?
Yeah.
I played that on GameCube. That game wasn't that bad.
That game was fun for multiplayer, but besides that, and then you also had Batman Dark something, and one of the other ones, which they were okay.
But I hate Batman Begins, and I touched on this in the previous video, but I'll go into a little more depth here. Just the graphics were okay. The Liquid Cape was just early graphics technology, just no bad. But the fear system was cool. I was looking forward to, because they touted verticality, and the fear system of, Batman makes the people he's hunting scared. Okay, cool. But did you really have to make it a requirement? Make Batman a complete fucking pansy that can't fight unless the people he's fighting are scared? I'm like, no, he's Batman. What the hell? And just when I went back on hard mode, that made it basically unplayable. I could not get past the boat level to save my life, just because I'm like, I can't fight. And when you actually do fight, the supposed combo and fighting system in that game is just fucking terrible. I'm sorry, Arkham Asylum did it way better.
Fair enough. I will make the comment when you say why, because he's Batman. Can you name a single time in Batman Begins where he has fights with loads of goons and he hasn't made them scared first?
True.
Yeah, it's Batman Begins, Batman. So yeah, I can understand why, but that does sound horrible.
Yeah. Okay. From the standpoint of the movie and the version of the character they're trying to portray, fair enough.
But as a game, that's
as a game, it's a horrible design decision for a game, because yes, we're gonna make you Batman in a video game and make it so you can't fight for shit. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like the Superman Returns. We mentioned Superman Returns was a horrible movie, but the game did do some stuff right, because it realized you need to approach it as a game yet still use logic.
Yeah.
This one, it sounds like it should have been played like Arkham Asylum, not like this.
Yeah, it sounds like Arkham Asylum is what this game tried to be and failed epically. Because Arkham Asylum has everything. It's got decent combat, it makes you feel like Batman when you're fighting, but it's also got the fear system and rewards you for using the fear stuff, for making your opponents afraid, for disarming them and stuff, but it doesn't require it. It doesn't penalize you for, trying to be the goddamn Batman.
Well, to be fair, Arkham Asylum does kind of require you to stealth.
It does, but I mean, like for instance, you could walk up to a single solitary guy with a gun and still beat the holy hell out of him. You might get
could.
shot up a little bit, but he won't instantly kill you just because he has a gun.
No, you could.
Which I'm like, wait, so one guy with a gun instantly kills Batman because he apparently can't fight one guy with a gun. Right. But yeah, that's my worst game. Just that game was so bad.
Yep. So back to Jim, I believe.
Indeed.
All right then.
Take us out, Jim.
Indeedy. Well, thank you guys for being here, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. And we shall see you next. That's right, DCember. And we shall proceed to see you next time. When we do this semi-monthly show, we will post further announcements. Follow us at the X Pound or follow the X Pound on Facebook, and we'll let you know we're going to do another episode of this. It's not going to be a regularly scheduled thing. It'll probably be once a month. We don't have a date and time set yet. TBD. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and we still don't have a format yet because we don't know if we're going to do one best, one worst, or just do one list at a time and ignore doing both sides.
Yeah, and if you have ideas for how better to make that entire situation work, let us know. And if you have ideas for lists, we'll take those too, either in the comments or, again, Twitter or Facebook. Let us know.
Jim,
Until
I would
next
just
time.
like to point out that you contradicted yourself in the same sentence.
I did?
You said it's not going to be a regularly scheduled program, and then turned it around in the same sentence says it's going to be once a month. That's the definition of regularly scheduled.
To be fair, he said it's not going to be a regularly scheduled thing. It may probably be once a month, maybe not, which means it was more like he's going to aim for once a month, but he might do it twice a month, or he might do it every couple of months, or whenever the topic arises.
You know, whenever there's something worth listing.
Fair enough. It just sounded to me like he just said once a month. I didn't hear the or.
Although I will say you just contradicted yourself then, Jim, saying something worth listening, and you're in it.
Listing, not listening.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Is that another pun? Sorry, I wasn't listening. No.
Okay, Chriz the Market Show, thanks for joining me. I'm James Phoenix. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Yep.